Hello and welcome back to the Football Rundown. We're here to talk about Stockport County as they take on Swindon Town on Saturday. Of course, another important league fixture for Stockport County, taking on Swindon away from home. It's a big game in League 2. And of course, Stockport County are looking to continue the winning streak in which they found themselves on. So Swindon Town currently 10th in League 2. Of course, Stockport County remain top of the table. We have been for quite a few games now, it feels like. What's going on with Swindon then? Well, Swindon are currently on a bad run of form, having failed to win a match since October the 14th. Swindon are winless in the last 5 matches in all competitions and haven't won in the last 4 league games. 1 in the last 5 league games they've won. Of course, that win was a 2-0 home win against Newport County, who find themselves 20th place in League 2 at the moment. Swindon Town have also failed to beat any of the teams that currently find themselves in the top half of League 2 so far this season. The highest placed team in the league they've beaten so far this season is Crawley Town, who are 14th in League 2 at the moment. They actually put 6 past Crawley, but then again, that might be long in the memory of the Swindon fans. They might have forgotten that after what's happened over the last few weeks, and certainly with the 7-4 defeat to Aldershot Town in the FA Cup, who of course Stockport County will face in the second round of the FA Cup. It didn't get much easier for Swindon either when they played on Tuesday night against Colchester in a return, I suppose, to League 2 football. They lost 3-1 on Tuesday to Colchester. It's not looking great for Swindon. However, they are home against Stockport County. That will be some form of comfort to the Robins. But as I say, County are in fantastic form, and it's the last team you want to come up against in League 2 at the moment if you're in the bad form in which Swindon find themselves in. So we spoke about Swindon and how bad they're doing at the moment in terms of, the 10th place, so it's not all that bad, but in terms of the last few weeks, the last month or so, it's been a bit of a rocky patch for Swindon, and of course that embarrassment against Aldershot, it's not nice to have, and hopefully we don't suffer the same fate as Swindon when we take them on in the second round. The Hatters, of course, are currently enjoying a 12-match winning streak and will look to make it 13 with a win against Swindon on Saturday. Stockport are just 1 point off the amount of points that Leyton Orient had at this point last season, and also a point ahead of where Forest Green were in the 21-22 season. Both teams were promoted in those seasons by winning the league, so it's interesting for Stockport County. Currently find themselves top of the table, and in the last 2 years, teams that have been on top of the table by this many points at this point in the season, they've gone on to win the league. So maybe, who knows, Stockport County fans, can we win the league this season? Let me know your thoughts in the comments on that. Now we're going to talk about the head-to-head record between the two teams. Both teams actually met 3 times last season, making up for the fact that they hadn't faced in over a decade before that. 23rd of February 2010 was the last time they met until last season. On that day, Swindon won 4-1 with some familiar faces on the Swindon Town team sheet. Swindon had Charlie Austin involved at the time, who of course made a name for himself in the Premier League and is now back with the Robins, as well as Matt Ritchie, who of course earned promotion to the Premier League with Bournemouth back in 2015. He's currently at Newcastle. County were unbeaten in all 3 meetings last season, drawing the first one despite a red card to Paddy Madden, winning the second one, which I think was the second round of the FA Cup, I could be wrong, that was a 4-0 win at Edgeley Park to Stockport County. And the third fixture, Stockport County won 1-0 thanks to a strike from Ryan Crowsdale. Swindon had a red card that day. So look, I think it's going to be an interesting game. We spoke about the fact that Swindon do not come into this in great form. Stockport County, of course, come into this in fantastic form. To be honest, Stockport County probably one of the most informed teams of England at the moment, probably the most informed team in England at the moment across the whole EFL. So that's quite an impressive record. I don't want to be overconfident coming into this kind of game because it's still a tough game away from home against a team that's still in the top half of the table. However, we have to take advantage of the fact that they've had a bad patch in the last month, and Stockport County have continued to get results even in the absence of Louis Barry, who of course was fantastic for us when he came in on loan from Aston Villa at the beginning of the season. Of course, he's a massive miss, but Stockport County have the squad this season. And we spoke about that a little bit at the beginning of the season, I think. We spoke about the fact that last season we had some good players, but maybe the squad wasn't, deep enough in quality. This season we seem to have that a little bit more. And I don't want to be overconfident, as I keep saying, but even in the absence of Lou Barry, who we do think will be out for some time, and it remains to be seen whether or not he'll even come back to Stockport County this season, we've got the quality on the pitch, and we've seen over the last few weeks, Carl Woodson's back from injury. He can strike a ball still. Of course, 4 goals at the weekend. I know it's only workshop, but 4 goals, nonetheless. He's also scored in the league as well a few times already since his return from injury. Paddy Madden, again, it can still have an influence in the game. He's not going to be, a prominent goal scorer, but he still offers a lot more than just goal scoring ability to this team, I think. And we do have options, and Tanto Alafi, of course, is still scoring goals for fun. We've got Will Collar, who can get goals from midfield. It remains to be seen what Nick Powell can offer. We've obviously not seen the best of him yet. So it's going to be interesting to see what Stockport County can do against Swindon the weekend. But I do expect another win for County. We've got to continue this form. However, this form, this winning streak, it has to end somewhere. We can't keep winning every week. I know we'd love to, and obviously, it'd be great to, but I just don't see it happening. Eventually, we're going to fall somewhere, and whether or not that's just drawing a game or completely losing, Stockport County cannot keep this winning run going for much longer. I really feel that. So, I've name dropped a few players there earlier who can score goals for Stockport County in the absence of Louis Barry, and Nick Powell was one that came up. There was rumblings a little bit about Nick Powell and whether or not he's giving 100% at Stockport County at the moment. Obviously, he had injury problems. For me personally, I think he's a player with a lot of quality, a lot of ability. I do agree that he doesn't necessarily run as much as the other players. He is a player that tends to stroll around the pitch a lot more. It certainly looks that way anyway, watching him play. But I think he's just that kind of a player. I don't think it's an attitude thing. I don't think it's a case of he thinks he's better than everyone else. I think that's just how he holds himself on the pitch. I don't think he's someone who's going to be sprinting left, right, and centre. I do think he's someone who enjoys to just sort of pick up a bit of space, try and receive the ball and try and make something happen. And we haven't really been able to get him in the team so far this season. But I do believe we will see the best of Nick Powell this season. I keep saying it. It's just a matter of time for me before we see his undoubted quality. And hopefully he can have an impact on the game on Saturday. Whether or not he'll start is another question. I'm not so sure. I do think that Challoner will opt for Alafi and Wootton up front. And I do think we'll have the likes of Collar in midfield. I don't see Nick Powell starting the game, but we'll have to wait and see what happens in regards to that. But just let me know your thoughts, I suppose, on what you expect from the game, what you're expecting from Swindon. Are they going to have a better performance than they've had over the last few weeks? Are Stockport County going to continue the winning streak? Just let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know your thoughts on who you think will start the game as I say, score prediction. Will Stockport County continue their winning streak? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So let's like the video, subscribe, and as always, thanks for tuning in.